Did you do? Right?
Settings.
Settings. Okay.
I'm touching there about it.
Are you
I'm going to check see if you're online or not.
okay? Right. Oh, okay.
You're online.
Right. Okay. After all that, all those hitches, we are finally online. I've got a few questions here. Question from John. He's set up an app, a structured light sensor camera app on his mobile phone, and he's captured heat signals from 2 teddy bears in his bedroom, although he's not managed to capture the heat signals on anything else there. So I have no idea what on earth is causing it. I would just check to see if there's any batteries in the bears for any reason, or any bits of metal or anything else that might be causing that condition. Failing that, I really haven't got a clue, John. So anybody else who might know anything about this, Lee Steer for one, maybe you could give us some kind of clues as to what is going on with this. Question from Susie. Use of the Om mantra and elevating vibration. Well, Om is the sound of the universe, so obviously the more you use the Om mantra, the higher your vibrations will become. When you start doing the Om mantra on a regular basis, it's like doing a deep meditation. You will start to experience things that you might see visions, you might see colours, you might even pick up on guides. But using it on a regular basis will help your mind to concentrate on the matter in hand, which is trying to raise your vibrations, and it will help you also to do other things as well, because there's a lot of other mantras you can add to the Om mantra, which will help you in various areas of your life. Some are for health, some are for helping you with financial situations, etc., etc. So the Om on its own is connecting you to the universe and helping you to understand what is going on in your life. I can obviously do something, perhaps a little talk about the whole thing to do with mantras at a later stage. Hello to John Slater, hello to Scott Wright, hello to Mick. Right, now Dawn asked me some interesting questions, which I mean, if anybody wants to give any input on this, then I would be very happy to hear it. First one is, how can you tell if a spirit that is trying to connect is male or female? Well, I can only go with my personal feelings and experiences with this, because I think everybody experiences these things differently. I have had some people have told me that if a male spirit's coming through, they stand on the right and a female spirit stands on the left, or vice versa. But I am automatically told whether they are male or female, and also basically if they're related to the person I'm talking to, what side of the family they come from. So it's quite difficult, because as I said, I've been doing it for quite some time now, and I tend to just kind of automatically know. But I think it's something that comes to you over time, and there is no particular no particular method that is better than others. It's just that it comes to us in the way that we're supposed to recognise that. I hope that helps, Dawn. I mean, I can't really say much more on that, because everybody's different. So I expect that you experience it differently to how I do. But I'd like your views on that at some stage, actually. Right. What do you do when someone or something heavy lays on top of you in the night? Now, again, this is from Dawn. Now, it depends exactly what you mean by that, because there's various reasons why that might happen. You could be experiencing sleep paralysis, which means that you're halfway between waking and sleeping, and often in that stage you experience what they call old hag, which is like a heavy weight on your chest and the inability to move. So it could be sleep paralysis. We can go into that in more detail if need be. Also, there are situations where people have experienced what they consider to be incubi or succubi, which are sexually orientated ghosts or spirits, which tend to also feel like a heavy weight on your body, but for different reasons. Without actually knowing exactly what you're referring to here, Dawn, it's very, very difficult to establish exactly which sort of spirit you're experiencing. I would say if it just feels like somebody's sitting on you, then I would say just tell them to get lost. Because to be quite honest, you know, spirits do strange things, as you know. So if it's just a normal random spirit that happens to be sitting on you or leaning on you or whatever, for whatever reason, possibly to get your attention, just say to them that, you know, I'm not prepared to be comfortable with this, and just go. But like I said, I would like to go into more detail with you about what you mean about that, Dawn, before I can actually say what it might be. How can you protect yourself and your home from unwanted spirits? Again, this is another thing that is down to the individual, because you've got some people who will go to measures of putting salt across doorways, windows, etc., etc., etc. You will get people who cleanse the house with sage, people who will put crystals in certain places to distract spirits from coming into the house. You will also get people who take even more extreme measures and perhaps resort to doing blessings on the house, or even go as far as exorcisms. So it's all down to the individual how you actually do it. Personally, I believe that I actually permanently have a shield of protection around me from stopping from spirits of the wrong kind coming through, apart from one incident we had several years ago in the Hellfire Caves, which was quite unexpected and which was quite a traumatic incident in itself, and which I wasn't prepared for, so I blame myself for that. I shouldn't have put myself in that position, but still. But I do believe that I have a permanent protection around me for that, because I ask for the protection from anything that's not supposed to be around me or not supposed to be there. As for spirits in the house, we have several spirits in our house, and to be quite honest, yeah, it was a night, John. We have several spirits in the house, and to be quite honest, they've never caused us any major problems apart from scaring the dogs a bit and also entertaining visitors sometimes with their tricks. When we were in Walkley, when we had a shop in Walkley, we did have a resident spook there who could be quite active and could be quite naughty at times. Sorry, screen went off. Be quite naughty at times. He used to throw candles at people. I think John was actually privy to that and got a candle thrown at him once, amongst other things. So yeah, we've had quite a lot of experiences in the past. I can't see anybody asking any more questions here at the moment. So what I'll say that I'm aiming to do with this, once I get it all right and can figure out how to get into the blooming thing without any problems, I'm actually aiming to have people contribute their ideas and thoughts to the video. And also I'm hoping to have some guests on to speak to us about various subjects. I myself was on a... I'll come to you in a minute, Tracy, love, okay. I actually was on a podcast a week or so ago with Russ Kellett, who actually is into a lot of things to do with UFOs, which is quite interesting. So maybe he'd return the favour and come and talk to us about UFOs at some stage. And I'm not just looking at people on the spiritual side of things, but I'm also looking at perhaps getting some other people in who will talk about other topics which might be quite interesting. So I'm hoping that's the way it's going to go. Right, Tracy, I'm not actually doing this as a linking in with mediumship at the moment, but I would say that your nan is around you most of the time, and you do feel her around you, don't you, a lot of the time. So I think the answer to that is yes, but like I said, I would have to speak to you separately about that, because this isn't about, as I said, picking up on spirit for people. It's more about answering general questions that people want to know about. You know, there's a lot of questions going around in the spiritual community. Whenever I do the question and answer sessions at shows, we have a lot of very, very quite important questions that come through, and also sometimes quite strange ones. Good, I'm glad that makes sense to you, but I will speak to you separately about that at some stage, Tracy. Thanks for being understanding. Yeah, we've had questions like, well, I had one the other night, to be quite honest, and it was quite a strange thing, because somebody asked me why there seem to be more bad spirits than good spirits come through, and I said, to be quite honest, I don't see it that way. I believe whatever you allow to come through will come through, and I think if you are asking to just let anything through, then you will get a mixture of both. But again, it depends what people mean by bad spirits, because I feel that if you're looking at what the church permits to be... Hi Mike, long time no speak, love. Yeah, I think if you're talking about what the church permits, to or believes to be bad spirits, then you could be including people who commit suicide, people of certain sexual preferences, and drug addicts, etc. But personally, I don't look upon any of them as being bad spirits. My feeling about bad spirits are people that have committed very evil acts on the earth plane, and sometimes if there is going to be some kind of closure for somebody because of that spirit coming through, then maybe they might need to come through. But personally, if I'm doing shows, I would rather just invite in spirits that are going to give people some kind of good vibrations or good feelings. Yes, I'm very well, thanks, Mike. Hope you are too. And I shall give you a message later and have a chat. Yeah, so anybody else got any questions that they want to ask? No? Right, okay. Well, as I said, back to the topic of the actual show. What we're going to do is we're going to have specific subjects that we're going to discuss on certain shows. Certain shows we will have a guest coming in who will talk to us about various things, and hopefully the next one I do will be trouble free, and I might have something kind of planned, which instead of just kind of ad-libbing and going on about a load of nonsense. But this is just a trial one, so hopefully we'll have more people tuning in next time, and we might have something that we can talk about that is going to be interesting. John did mention earlier on to me that he had some videos he wanted me to look at, but I'm not quite sure what they're about exactly at the moment, but it sounds pretty interesting, and maybe we can discuss those on one show. And also we've got quite a few EVPs and things like that that could make an interesting topic for another show, and various other things. Okay, well, I'm going to cut the show short this time because obviously there's not many people coming through, but hopefully the next one will be a lot better, and we will have a lot more to talk about and a lot more guests and people taking part. So like I said, this has been just a trial thing, and hopefully the next one will be a lot better and a lot more trouble free, and we might get a whole hour's program out of it. Anyway, for now I shall say good night to everybody and hope to see you again on the next one.